Imagine trying to pick up the pieces and then putting it together, but you realize how much of a mess that thing has made, and trying to put the pieces together isn't, and trying to put the pieces together is no easy task. That's how I'm kind of feeling with this whole thing with Shadman. So what's good, everybody? It's your boy Jentai Sport here. Now today we have a bit of interesting news. Shadman got arrested, yeet, and pretty much under, I believe, having a assault weapon in LA, and the bond is like, and the bail is like $50,000, which is a buttload of money. So yeah, for those who don't know the recent news, that's pretty much what happened. But I don't want to focus on just about the arrest today. I want to also focus on the person of who Shadman is. Now, I originally was gonna do this type of video for Shadman in an artist appreciation thing, because, there's some bits of Shadman's work that I actually did like. And I'm gonna say this before we delve into the details and stuff, is that before I knew all the stuff about Shadman, I liked this work. I honestly thought his art style was really damn good, and I honestly wanted to try to copy his style, or at least try to be better than his current style. But then I learned things about Shad, and then things went downhill, and then I learned even more things, and then slowly my liking of stuff has slowly started to cease. So yeah, I didn't know much in the beginning about Shadman. I thought Shadman was like a pretty lit person. I mean, yeah, they had a little bit of crazy things that they like to draw, but I didn't think it was that bad, right? But then that's when I found out about the whole, drawing real people in certain ways and doing weird things with that, and that's nothing I haven't seen before or heard about before. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you take certain characters, that's fine. Maybe like Stephanie from Lazy Town, that's kind of crazy, but that's not that crazy. Like, we've seen worse, right? And also, community question: how do you feel about looting Stephanie from Lazy Town? Keep in mind, I'm only talking about the character, not the actor. And how do you feel about it? Because personally, since she did have multiple actors, and I'm not really caring about the actors, I'm really just focusing more on the character, I would personally say it's fine. Personally, I would say it's fine, but I understand the more high ground here. Then you also have, Hillary, which got turned into a lolly, which that's... do with that as you will. And then you also had, some other famous people. But then you get into the real nitty gritty with the lolly stuff, and then it turns into something that you didn't want, because you took the lolly stuff and you based it on real people. Pardon? So yeah, that's the part that I'm kind of tossed on a loop here. So this is not an artist appreciation. This is a artist unappreciation, because there's some very, very messed up things going on here, and that I would just like to talk about. So for starters, when it comes to the whole thing with the lolly, now I'm gonna tell you the rule of how things work here, and I've already explained it, but for the new people, when it comes to lolly is okay. You can draw however you like when it comes to it, but, and there is some key points when it comes to it, is that if it is based on a real person that physically exists in our world, then that is a very, very bad move. Obviously, don't do it. It is not worth it. If it's a character that exists in the realm of fiction, and strictly exists in the realm of fiction, then you can do whatever you want. It's 100% fine. No one cares at the end of the day, because it's a legitimate fictional character. But if you take a real person and then shift it over into fiction and then try to do stuff with it, then that's the problem. And I don't want people to be thinking that, what I'm doing and what I'm saying when it comes to lolly is pretty much the same. No. I like lolly and see like lolly content being made when it's of a fictional character. Shadman likes lolly content when it's being made of real people. We are not the same. Let's be completely honest here. This man has a different definition of what lolly is, just like everybody else does. When it comes to lolly is it can be an underage character, but it also could be the trope of having an underdeveloped body. Like, having small boobs, or having no cake at all, or whatever you like. And that's what in lolly is a trope, not an age, because there is no specific age for lolly. And even though that is kind of like a cover-up word that people like to use for a lot of things, even though they use the term in so very bad ways, and I hate it. But, you know, lolly isn't in itself a bad, horrible thing. It's when people keep using it out of context or use it in the weird ways, that's what make lolly, you know, a lot of bad things for a lot of public mainstream people. So when you see Shadman in their work and you see the lolly content that's been made, there is some that is off of fictional characters that is fine. It's whatever, it doesn't matter, it's okay. But then you also got stuff that is not good at all, like any of the real life stuff that we talked about, which I will not be showing in this video, or the whole thing with Keemstar's daughter. Like, why are you drawing someone's daughter, man? I don't know. That's really creepy. Like, let's not. Like, someone fictional, of course, fine, go ham, don't care. That doesn't matter. They never existed anyway. But someone that's real, no sir. That just nah. And I failed to mention this in the 3D lolly video, is that, you know, people had made models of Alice from Detroit Become Human, and people had mixed feelings when it comes to that. And I get it now, because I didn't know that Alice's character was actually used off of a real person. So yeah, I'm kind of like, that's a bit creepy and a bit sus. So yeah, I completely understand the weirdness that comes off of that. So that is definitely something that is a bit strange. That is definitely something that is a bit strange and feels wrong. So definitely I get that 100% when it comes to the Detroit Become Human thing. And the same thing with this. This is just as bad, to be perfectly honest. And then you also have a lot of other weird stuff Shadman done, like giving Belle Delphine a weapon and putting it in her mouth and potentially blow her own brains out. Not why? Then you also had, you know, some other weird stuff. I think he drew Shiki one time and then got her in a gross situation. It's just weird. And that's kind of the thing too. A lot of his stuff is just kind of weird, isn't it? Like, now for the Belle Delphine stuff, that's fine. This is also another thing I want to point out when it comes to real life people. Like, if you got a character, if you got like someone like Belle Delphine, who everybody knows, that's fine if you want to make some content on her, because she's kind of for that content, to be perfectly honest. She has made adult content, so I feel like it's 100% fine if you make some fictional content of her in it, and you know, whether it's safe for work or not so safe for work, and that's absolutely fine. I feel like, honestly, if you make safe for work content for someone that exists, that's fine. If you make NSFW art, I feel like you need to ask them first before you go in and try to make said content, because again, it's a bit rough now, isn't it? Because when you think about it, it is a real person, and you're taking them and using their likeness in a fictional sort of sense. So, especially in a very lewd way. So I definitely think you need to ask first. Safe for work, I think, is absolutely fine. Like, that's something that people would just enjoy anyway. Fun fact, I actually drew Belle once, and then I sent it to her, and she actually liked it, which is kind of savage of me, which is actually kind of cool. So, I have art that impresses Miss Belle. Even though that really doesn't matter now, considering that she's not even here no more, but still, I got something that you don't. So anyway, when it comes down to Shadman and the arts and all the stuff that he has done in the past, especially early in the days of the past, you know, there's just a level of insanity that I'm down for, but there's also a level of insanity that I'm not so down for. And definitely this is a level of edgy insanity that I'm not down for. I know Zontan and Shad were pretty close. I don't know if they still are, but you know, it's just Shadman's just kind of weird as a whole, you know? Like, it's kind of a weird thing. And especially considering people just like, oh, it's just Shadman being Shadman. It's kind of whatever. Is it whatever? Because it's kind of, he's taking real people and then using them for different services, you know? You're taking real people, real people, and then you use them for a certain service. Like, I know we talk about lollies on this channel, and we talk about them in a lot of different ways, but never once have I covered a single character that is a real person that is used in the worst possible way like this. I've never done that, and I don't ever want to do that. But Shadman just like, no, that's fine, that's absolutely fine. 100 people trying to bang this one character that is a real life person? Sure, let's go for that. That's kind of weird, my boy. I'm not gonna front. That's pretty dang weird. So definitely there is a lot of stuff we can honestly go about all day with this one, but I don't want to go too much longer because this is already a lot I gotta edit as is. But point is, when it comes to Shadman and their work, they have some boundaries that they just have no boundaries at all. Like you can call yourself the darkness, but this man is the actual void. Like, this man don't have no end to what insanity he is trying to put out into the world. It's kind of crazy. Also, the fact that people kind of just like, you know, oh, it's just Shad being Shad, let him do his own thing, and kind of being really dismissive about it, that's also kind of like a what moment, because it's just like, you realize these are real people that he is drawing, right? Like, I get the whole fiction and, you know, reality thing. I 100% get it. I understand it. But you understand what is actually happening here, right? I'm also kind of wondering, do the lolly community, the anime lolly community, think of Shadman as a hero, or do they think of him as a villain? I'm kind of curious too on that, because if you think of him as a hero, I mean, I get at some points why, but also there's other points where I'm just like, nah, I'm good on that, fam. So definitely there is some stuff that is not okay when it comes to Shad's work. Like I said, the regular fictional stuff, that's fine, 100%. You want to draw a lolly? Go for it. As long as it's not a real person, you are absolutely okay. But then the moment you dip into that type of territory, you get mixed type of feelings when it comes to it. Certain things is maybe more accepted than others, but then you have a really messed up stuff and you're just like, wait, what? So definitely there is a border that you can cross, but should you cross that line though? That's kind of what it is. And again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, censor freedom of expression or censor what people draw. Like, no, you can draw whatever you want, but at the same time, you might get judged for it severely and cracked on for it severely. So that's what I'm coming at when it comes to this. Whether you like Shadman's work or whether you like, you know, what he has done, I'm just gonna leave that up to you. But mostly for me, nah, I'm good on that. Sure, there's like some stuff that I think it's pretty okay, but there is other stuff that are just like, nah, I'm good on that, fam. Also, now that I think about it too, you also have some random characters in some of these comics and some of these pictures that look like a lolly, right? Now, after seeing the video that I saw about his history, I can't tell you what is a lolly and what is based off a real person anymore. So looking at any of it just feels kind of like, whoa, that's a bit much. So yeah, that's also another thing, because you just don't know what is real anymore. But come on, as much as this guy does his best to make some controversial pieces, and as much as he goes in on a lot of this stuff that really shouldn't go in, like all of the entirety of the lolly stuff, which honestly just, dude, stop. In my personal opinion, I mean, it's not that bad. Like, he wouldn't draw his own mom for going in some weird fashion, right? Hey, he drew his own mom in a weird fashion. All right. This man really don't got no boundaries. I mean, if you want revenge, I guess you can just jerk off to his mom. I don't know, man. This man is a social experiment gone wrong. So hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. And if you would like to see some of my art, then tell me in Twitter what you would like to see. I might draw it, might not. I don't know. But anyway, so follow me on Twitter, just in case you do want to see anything. Also, you can even go as far as to help me on Patreon and help me with my PayPal as well, if you'd like to donate to the channel. And until then, this is your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day. Baby,
say my name as if you got a fucking clue. Always caught up in the moment, not condoning what I do. I've been messing with my chemistry to find the better me, putting thoughts upon the page in hopes that you could get to me. Been this way since legit, my brain couldn't quit. Running from my issues, roll the pain in a spliff, fade away every hit. Nobody needed me, too afraid to commit.